Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome back if you're returning. Today, this is a quick short video. I just wanted to show you, I mentioned to you guys in my last video that Kendra's sister was going to be coming in. She has an injury and some lifting right here, so I'm just testing it. She's just coming in to get these acrylic nails that someone else did removed. I mentioned to you guys before that she is a stroke survivor and has had difficulty and issues going to other techs and salons. So she had a wedding and had to go get these done somewhere else, and she wanted me to remove them. So I'm going to be angling my nippers with the same direction as the nail, and I want to do this from underneath because I'm not familiar with her as a client, so I want to make sure I am watching her growth or looking at her growth. I don't want to cut too close to her natural nail. If her natural nail growth was longer, and I don't need to look from underneath on these because I've already looked at them. But I just wanted to show you guys the direction that you should be holding clippers, and you should use clippers, not tip cutters, to do this. And you should go from the side at angles, at the angle I'm showing you, not angles. Sorry. Now I'm going to hold my thumb here because this was the one that was lifting. So now that I'm trimmed them off, I'm going to take the bulk of the product off with my e-file. I'm using a 4-course safety bit, a Notpolish 4-course safety bit with my e-file. I believe my speed was on 10 or 11 here because I want it to go pretty quick because I don't want it dragging or skipping. I want the e-file to be going quick and fast so that this sharp bit is doing the work for me and I don't need to use very much pressure at all. When I started this nail, you saw I had my thumb on the area that was lifting. That was so I didn't lift it anymore, like pushing down on the free edge. See how I put my thumb back there? When I'm going to apply any pressure to the free edge, I don't want this to pull or tug on her anymore. And sure enough, when I got down to, she said this hurt really bad when she heard it. When I got down to where I could see her natural nail under there, she did in fact have a dark brown line where her nail did bleed. So she did crack her actual nail plate under there. You never know what is underneath there. So if you have someone that comes in with an injury to their nail, first of all, you need to ask them to wait several days, to stabilize it with a Band-Aid, and wait several days until it's not hurting them anymore before they come in. You don't want to work on it when it's still sore. You don't want to work on it when it's still like an active injury because you're just going to make it bleed again, or you're going to rip it or damage it further. So anyway, it was about 3 days after her injury. I tested it, pushed on it gently, wiggled it a little bit back and forth just to see what I was dealing with, and to also ask her if it was hurting. Does it hurt when I push here? Does it hurt when I push here? Before I started any work. And so then I'm just going to go in and remove as much product as I can with this bit, and then she's going to go into a soak off with acetone. So since this is foreign work, I was not sure if I was going to encounter some MMA. And you guys, I still wasn't 100% positive. I think that the salon she went to might have mixed their monomer, like diluted it with some MMA. Now, a lot of salons use MMA because it's cheaper, but it's also illegal. So you can always tell if you search on YouTube for MMA or MMA removal or anything like that, you'll see that as soon as you come out of the the acetone, that it is not, it just doesn't look like what you're used to it looking like when it removes. It doesn't have that crumbly type texture. It's very stringy. You'll literally be able to pull it for like 3 inches long, and it will just be a long sticky string, and it's really hard to get off with acetone. So what I decided to do was, while I was finishing the removal, this is the hand that her stroke has affected her the most. She doesn't have any control of this hand. She can move it, but if she wants to hold her hand still, she has to use her other hand to stabilize a finger. So before I started working on this hand, I have done a set of nails on her before, but it's been over a year. Before I started working on this hand, I really, really grabbed her finger, you know, firmly and said, can I move it in this direction? Does this hurt? And she just told me, take control of my hand. Just move it however you want and hold it firm and you'll be good. And so I was going very slowly throughout this and really just holding on to her because her hands do jerk involuntarily. And I'm working with, you know, sharp, powerful instruments. So I was just going very slowly here. This is all in real time too, by the way, you guys. So anyway, when these came out of the soak, what I decided to do was while I was working on these others, I just put a foil on her thumb and her injured finger to see what I was dealing with, because I didn't want to put her whole hand in a bowl of acetone and then it'd be MMA and it was just a waste of time. So I just put a little, just like an experiment to see what I was dealing with while I removed these. So that's what you saw me doing with the foil, okay? The other thing is this hand that I'm working on here does not bend, or she's not able to get it to mold or hold or be still in the position it needs to be in a soak-off bowl. So I had to use, I believe I had to use foils on this and then do most of the removal with the E-file because she couldn't really soak off very well with this hand. This is the position her hand is in most times when she's just relaxing. I just wanted to show that to you guys so you could see what we were dealing with. And you could see there that she was able to straighten her fingers a little bit. So here's where I'm coming to the first look I'm getting at what I'm dealing with. This is what it should look like. It should peel off like this. I don't normally use a metal object like a cuticle pusher to take off acrylic when it comes out of a soak-off. I just use a paper towel. But I wanted to use the cuticle pusher here because I wanted to move it around and manipulate it and see what I was dealing with, see if I saw any MMA. And I can't remember what frame it is because my voiceover bar that's measuring my voice is literally right over the nail I'm working on, so I can't see. But I did notice when I pulled the paper towel away from her thumb, some stringiness. So that's what made me suspect that they might have been mixing their monomer, because I did find some stringiness, although most of it looked correct. So I don't really know for sure. Then I went in with that bit that I will show you later what bit that was to get the rest of the acrylic off, because I didn't want to use my 4-course, but there was still plenty of acrylic on there, and I was not on her natural nail with that metal bit. Now I'm going to go in with my nippers and trim her natural length, and then I'm going to file her natural length, and then I'm going to use a cuticle ball bit. This right here, this little nipping is sped up. I told you it was all in real time, but the removal was all in real time. This is sped up because you guys didn't need to watch me clip in real time. This was the bit I had used. This is a new one from Notpolish. It worked amazing, super sharp. Now I'm going to take this small sanding band and small mandrel bit. The sanding band is a medium grit from Cara Sky, and the mandrel bit is from Notpolish, also brand new. And I'm going to work the rest of the cuticle. I'm going to push back her cuticles. I'm going to get the remaining acrylic off of her natural nail. There were some points, like I mentioned, that she couldn't soak off, so I did end up leaving a tad bit of clear acrylic on some of her nails because... Also, look at this. I want you guys to watch this finger. This is all I did on that finger. That's it. This one too. That's all I did with the ball bit. Later on, you will see that she started bleeding a little bit from that. So you guys can make your clients bleed with a ball bit, even from doing just that little bit that I did right there. I didn't notice till 15 minutes later when I went back to work on that hand that she had a little bit of bleeding there. It's not even bloody there while you can see it there in the background. Anyway, what was I saying? It's going by so fast. Oh yeah, I ended up leaving a little bit of acrylic on because it would have been more detrimental to keep filing it. After this, I'm going to go in and give her, well, right now I'm doing parts of a manicure. You know, I'm cleaning up her cuticles, because just for a removal, you don't have to clean up cuticles, but I did go in and clean up her cuticles, as well as dehydrate her nail plate with some swipe, and I had her get up and go wash her hands with to get the acetone off, you definitely want to, anytime your client comes out of acetone, you want to have them go wash their hands, and especially up into their knuckle area where they've been soaking, where acetone has been on their skin, with soap and water, because even though you've come out of the acetone and you think you're done soaking, that acetone is still seeping into their skin. And some people can have an allergic reaction, or just a reaction, because that's a harsh chemical, you know. So every time my clients are done with the soak off, I have them go scrub with soap and water. Oh, this is going by so fast. So anyway, after I do normal prep, like as if I were going to apply acrylic, I'm going to go in with swipe and a sanding band to rough up the edges and rough up her natural nail plate, to remove the shine off of her growth area and flush out any remaining debris under her nails, around her cuticles. I'm just going to use the sanding band to just further clean up and get rid of as much acrylic as I can as well, to make her nail surface smooth and ready to receive a gel polish, because I'm going to go in after I clean up and use swipe. I'm going to go in with a base coat. I'm sorry, XXX bond. I'm going to go in with a bonder, a base coat, and a top coat, and some cuticle oil, and then we're done. So this is basically, I charge $25 for this. So this is a full acrylic removal and manicure. So she leaves with her hands manicured, her nails nice and pretty. This right here was the most acrylic I had to leave on, and I don't even really think it was acrylic. It was mostly the tip that was glued on. But right under this, that white line where you can see the tip glued on, was where her injury was. Right under there was, I don't know if you can see it, but like a line of dried blood. So I did not want to go over and over and over and over that injured area with my bit. Also, that little bit of acrylic and tip that's there is thickening and stabilizing and helping her injury heal, because it's leaving some strength on her free edge, if that makes sense. I know I always say that in my videos, if that makes sense. So I don't mean to say that all the time, but that's what I'm thinking in my mind. Like, am I making sense when I say that? So I just wanted to get this video up for you guys to just show you. I hope, by the way, she isn't just Kendra's sister. Her name is Brittany, and I really, really like her a lot, just like I like Kendra. And I hope she is able to come get some nails sometime soon. So I'm just showing you the products I'm using. I'm going to go in with this XXX bond after I use some swipe. And again, she has gone up and washed her hands with soap and water to get the acetone off. This is where you are going to see, either when I'm polishing or at the end, that she had some bleeding to her fingers, where I literally swiped with the ball bit. Like, I went over it like 2 times. So you never know when you're working on somebody how sensitive they are. It didn't look like I was working on any live skin. It didn't look like I cut her, and it didn't look like I over prepped either. So, you know, I knew as soon as I went in with the swipe, and I could see that she had some bleeding. Yeah, I cut her with that, even though of course I didn't mean to. So this is Notpolish XXX bond. This isn't a bonder just for acrylic. This is a bonder for anything. And so then this is, I believe, the base coat. I'm going with 1 thin layer of base coat, 1 thin layer of gloss it, and then I'm going to just sharpen her edges very, very gently with a file, just to make sure she doesn't have any top coat like touching her skin or anything. And I also don't want the edges of her nails to feel rounded or anything, because I want her to be able to scratch and, you know, have a regular nail there. I do this with all my sets. I always go in with a file very gently on the edges. So I'm going to use some Young Nails Rose cuticle oil, because she is like her sister and allergic to lavender and everything else, and has very sensitive skin. So in that, this cuticle oil doesn't have any other scented ingredients in it, so it's not dangerous. This is the end of the video. I'm going to show the set of the final product here, and then we're done. Sorry this was so short, but short and sweet, you guys. I just wanted to show you the process. Thank you for being here. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.